In Hollywood, personal tragedy often unfolds behind closed doors, away from the spotlight's glare. What happens when two of TV's closest stars face unimaginable loss, and one finally chooses to speak out after years of silence? This story touches deeper than celebrity gossip. It reveals a human side of actors who have been part of millions of viewers' lives. Prepare to hear Ellen Pompeo's heartfelt reflections on a devastating event involving her beloved friend Eric Dane that has remained largely untold until now. The news of Eric Dane's tragic passing sent ripples through Hollywood and his many fans around the world. Although the details were initially scarce, the suddenness of the event struck many as deeply unsettling. Eric Dane, best known for his role as Dr. Mark Sloan on Grey's Anatomy, had long been a beloved figure both on and off screen. The shock was not just about his death, but the silence that immediately followed from those closest to him. This absence of comment only added layers of mystery and speculation, leaving everyone wondering what exactly had happened behind closed doors. In the days following the news, social media buzzed with tributes and questions, yet no clear picture emerged. Friends and co-stars stayed mostly quiet, withholding details as they processed their grief privately. The intense media coverage ranged from respectful to invasive, making it clear just how vulnerable those who knew him truly felt. This initial hush kept many viewers and fans on edge as they tried to piece together the story of a life that seemed so vibrant just weeks before. Subtle hints from insiders suggested that the event was both heartbreaking and complicated, deepening the intrigue. Ellen Pompeo, who worked closely with Eric Dane for years, was notably silent during this time. Her silence was not unusual given the nature of grief, but also sparked hope that eventually some insight would come from someone so intimately connected to him. The profound impact of the loss on her was obvious to those who followed her over the years, but why she chose to remain quiet remained unclear. This calm before the eventual storm of her response created anticipation that something meaningful would be shared in due course. As the public waited, one thing was certain. The deeper truth was still to be revealed. The mysterious atmosphere of the situation increased because Eric Dane had experienced personal challenges, which became public knowledge during the last few years, while he kept his critical moments private. His health issues and personal struggles, which he revealed to his fans, created hope that he was winning his personal battles. The media articles maintained a respectful distance while they showed his legacy through their primary focus on his life achievements, instead of showing his actual life events. The situation maintained its dignity through respectful distance, which people maintained while they waited for answers to their questions. People wanted to understand how his closest friends would react after this event, especially Ellen Pompeo, who had worked with him throughout their shared life experiences. The silence about the tragedy created both speculation and a demonstration of the deep emotional suffering which words fail to express. The deep emotional pain he experienced showed itself as a typical heartbreak, which produced an everlasting effect on all who deeply cared for him. People waited to know the actual situation because there was no direct explanation of the events that had occurred. Eric Dane's death brought attention to essential discussions about mental health issues and privacy rights within the entertainment industry. Many talented people in Hollywood had experienced their mental health problems in silence until his death brought attention to the need for better support systems, which should exist for both actors and crew members. The first surprise about the situation created a dangerous understanding that hidden behind all Hollywood beauty exists real emotional distress which people keep hidden. This tragic event functioned as part of the continuous main story about how people show their weakness while they develop their strength during times of personal difficulty. The impact of her words would resonate beyond the initial shock, bringing clarity and closure to a painful chapter. Ellen Pompeo and Eric Dane's connection extended far beyond their status as co-stars. Working together on Grey's Anatomy for many years, they developed a close friendship grounded in mutual respect and shared experiences. Their characters were often intertwined in dramatic storylines, but it was their off-screen bond that truly defined their relationship. Colleagues described a friendship filled with support, laughter, and understanding to help both navigate the pressures of a demanding industry. Their connection reflected a rare and enduring partnership in Hollywood's fast-paced environment. The pair bonded over the intense workload of the hit medical drama, which often required long hours and emotional commitment. Both actors leaned on each other as they faced the challenges of balancing professional demands and personal lives. Their friendship provided a safe space where they could be their authentic selves. This foundation of trust made the loss of Eric Dane deeply personal for Ellen, shaking one of her closest anchors in a highly public life. Ellen has spoken in interviews about how important Eric was to her both professionally and emotionally. They often shared moments of candidness in interviews and public appearances, revealing the depth of their mutual admiration. Eric's encouragement was a source of strength for her during difficult times, and vice versa. Their bond went beyond the script, embodying a true friendship that weathered many highs and lows in the entertainment industry. Friends and co-stars alike have remarked on the genuine care and concern that Ellen showed for Eric during his personal struggles. Their private moments revealed a softer side seldom seen by the public. This layer of connection gave heightened significance to her eventual public reflections, underscoring a grief that was intensely felt. Ellen's silence was thus not just about loss, but about honoring a friendship that had profoundly shaped her life. The way Eric Dane shaped Ellen's life demonstrates how long-term cast members build strong friendships with each other. The show Grey's Anatomy has created multiple such relationships, which its actors display through their family-like connections. Ellen in particular has been credited with fostering this close-knit atmosphere. Eric's death affected her on multiple levels because he belonged to her deeply connected social circle. The cast and crew experienced a profound sense of loss because a central member of their team was missing. They maintained their work relationships by celebrating each other's important life events and helping one another during family matters and job transitions. The two friends maintained their friendship through regular conversations, which showed their actual concern for each other's health. The tragedy became more painful because it resulted in both a public death and a private break between two friends who had known each other since childhood. Ellen made her choice to talk about her life because of the intense emotional bond she shared with others. Ellen's reflections demonstrate her comprehension of grief, which combines personal experience with common human feelings. Her words about Eric's death explain the feelings of everyone who has lost someone they loved who suddenly vanished from their life. The empathy she shows people who are not famous makes her message accessible to international audiences. Their relationship strength shows how they can bond with each other through their shared human experiences. It was not just an acknowledgement of a colleague's passing, but a tribute to a cherished friend whose absence left an irreplaceable void. The world behind the scenes of Grey's Anatomy is often as dramatic as the stories viewers see on screen. For Ellen Pompeo and Eric Dane, the set became more than a workplace. It was a shared home for creativity, pressure, and unexpected friendship. Long hours and high stakes created an intense environment where trust and collaboration were essential. This atmosphere helped forge deep personal connections among the actors, fostering a unique kind of family on and off camera. The demands of starring in a long-running medical drama impose rigorous schedules and emotional tolls. Scenes frequently require actors to portray high-stress moments, medical emergencies, and complex relationships. This shared emotional labor made Ellen and Eric rely on each other, not only professionally, but for support through challenging days. Their friendship grew stronger in the crucible of these demanding experiences. It was a partnership built on mutual resilience and understanding. Beyond the pressures, the set also offered moments of levity and camaraderie. Cast members often shared jokes, celebrated milestones, and supported one another during difficult times. This mix of seriousness and fun helped balance the intense nature of their work. Ellen and Eric frequently found comfort in these lighter moments, strengthening their connection. Their friendship thrived in a space that balanced vulnerability with joy. The producers and crew also played a role in creating a supportive environment. Longtime colleagues have praised how the Grey's Anatomy team prioritized mental health and well-being as the series evolved. This culture encouraged open conversations and fostered solidarity among the cast. Ellen and Eric both benefited from this supportive atmosphere, which helped sustain them through personal challenges. Life on set was not without its conflicts and emotional strain, as is common in any high-pressure workplace. Yet, these difficulties often brought the cast closer. Ellen and Eric were known to mediate tensions and uplift others when the stress mounted. Their roles as both leaders and friends made them pillars of support for the Grey's Anatomy family. The vulnerability they showed off-screen added depth to their performances on-screen. The interpersonal relationship between Ellen and Eric demonstrated how they maintained professional conduct while showing their authentic friendship. The two people involved establish their personal limits, but they also recognize when comfort should be offered. The two partners possess an exceptional capacity to assist each other during their times of public exposure and private challenges. Their relationship functioned as a reminder that every performer exists as a human being who experiences intricate feelings. The audience's recognition of their on-screen chemistry created additional stress, while it strengthened their bond. The two characters developed a connection that fans found appealing because it reflected their real-life friendship. The couple received positive feedback, which confirmed their relationship, while strengthening their dedication to the series and to one another. The two people involved shared a journey that continued throughout their entire period of filming. Ellen and Eric demonstrated their dedication to health and well-being through their active support of advocacy and charity work throughout their entire workday. Their partnership outside of entertainment work demonstrated their common beliefs and dedication to generating social transformation. Their friendship and mutual respect received deeper meaning because of this aspect of their relationship. As Ellen began to open up after years of silence, the reasons behind her quiet strength and deep connection to Eric's story became clearer. Grief is a deeply personal experience, and for Ellen Pompeo, the choice to remain silent in the aftermath of Eric Dane's death was no exception. She grappled privately with the loss of a dear friend and colleague, knowing that public discussion could never fully capture the complexity of her emotions. This silence was less about avoidance and more about honoring the private nature of their bond. In Hollywood, where so much is shared openly, choosing quiet reflection often takes immense courage. Ellen's restraint demonstrated respect not only for Eric's memory, but also for the mourning processes of those closest to him. Another factor in her silence was the overwhelming nature of the media attention. In moments like these, statements can be misconstrued or taken out of context, leading to further emotional turmoil. Ellen likely understood that releasing a carefully considered message required time and healing. The weight of responsibility to speak on behalf of a beloved friend can be as intense as the grief itself. Waiting allowed her to prepare both emotionally and mentally for a moment that demanded authenticity without exploitation. Moreover, Ellen's own history with mental health awareness and privacy influenced her approach. She has previously advocated for compassion and discretion when facing personal struggles, reflecting a belief that some experiences are better processed away from public scrutiny. Her silence bridged the tension between public curiosity and the sanctity of private healing. It signaled a boundary set not just for herself but for the respect owed to Eric's legacy. This period reinforced the understanding that true grief is neither immediate nor performative. Friends close to Ellen reported that she spent much of this time in quiet contemplation and close-knit support, surrounded by family and trusted confidants. This allowed her to navigate her sorrow without the added pressure of a public stage. It also underscored how grief can be isolating even for those constantly in the public eye. In this case, the silence was a protective cocoon, enabling Ellen to eventually find the words that would resonate deeply when the time felt right. The statement evaluation included assessment of its potential impacts on people who had emotional connections to Eric Dane. Ellen's reputation as an industry authority required her to maintain truthful expression while she handled sensitive matters. Her decision to speak too early would have created suffering for those who needed their healing process to take longer. Her decision to speak out about her personal experiences became her first public achievement and her planned public moment for community recovery. Ellen's development of her power to express her thoughts began in the months that followed. Her friends and cast members saw her becoming ready to deal with questions that people would ask about her. The process moved from private mourning to public remembrance through its gradual development, which built up to an unmistakable change. The process of grief shows itself through different stages which develop at different speeds. Ellen's decision to remain silent demonstrates her belief in the storytelling method, which enables storytellers to take their time processing their experiences before sharing them with others. People who speak before someone else finishes their story will find that their original experience becomes less real. Her decision shows an understanding that some chapters of life and loss need time before they are meaningfully narrated. The ripple effects of Ellen Pompeo's decision to speak out extended well beyond her personal circle, shaping public and industry responses in ways that reflected the complexity of loss. The moment Ellen Pompeo broke her silence, the response was immediate and deeply heartfelt. Fans flooded social media with messages of support, expressing appreciation for her honesty and courage. Many shared their own stories of loss, connecting with the vulnerability she revealed. This collective empathy transformed the conversation from mere celebrity news into a community healing event. Ellen's voice helped bridge the gap between private grief and public mourning, making the experience more relatable and profound. Within the entertainment industry, colleagues also reacted with admiration and respect for Ellen's openness. Actors, producers, and crew members praised her for speaking out in a way that honored Eric Dane's legacy, while shedding light on the emotional toll of losing a close friend. Many highlighted the importance of fostering a supportive environment for those coping with grief behind the scenes. Ellen's statement became a catalyst for renewed discussions about wellness and support networks within Hollywood's demanding culture. Media coverage shifted tone following Ellen's remarks. Rather than focusing on speculation or sensational details, reports began emphasizing the human story behind the tragedy. Reputable outlets devoted space to exploring themes of friendship, loss, and recovery, prompted by her candid reflections. This change in narrative helped shape a broader understanding among the public about the often unseen pain that celebrities endure. The media's role moved from mere observers to empathetic participants in a conversation that needed to be had. Fans felt that Ellen's words offered a kind of closure they had long hoped for. Her willingness to break the silence cleared the air of rumors and misconceptions, allowing more genuine expressions of grief. Online memorials and tributes increased significantly after her statement, illustrating how her voice galvanized a sense of shared remembrance. It also underscored the powerful role celebrities can play in humanizing difficult topics. The industry experts confirmed that Ellen used appropriate timing to create a significant effect through her actions. She needed to wait until she understood the topic before she could present her message to the public, because her message would attract more attention after media frenzy had ended. People admired her capacity to show weakness while demonstrating strength because they viewed it as evidence of her advanced emotional development and her ability to understand others deeply. Through her method, she established a novel approach that enables public figures to manage their personal loss while creating advantages for themselves and their watchers. Ellen's decision to share her personal experiences with mental health issues brought attention to the need for mental health education in Hollywood, which operates under constant pressure. Her statement initiated discussions that motivated studios and networks to reevaluate their methods of providing assistance to their staff during challenging situations. The conversation produced permanent changes that increased support and understanding for individuals who experience emotional difficulties. The death of Eric Dane affected both his personal life and the complete Hollywood industry. Fans and commentators pointed out that people in this industry need to develop a particular strength that enables them to show their true selves. Ellen chose to show her authentic self despite experiencing distressing moments, which others regarded as an impactful demonstration of leadership. The openness sparked by Ellen's words paved the way for a broader understanding of grief's impact in the entertainment community and beyond. Grief in Hollywood carries unique challenges, as loss happens not only on a personal level, but under the relentless gaze of the public eye. For actors like Ellen Pompeo, mourning a close friend such as Eric Dane means navigating the complicated balance between private sorrow and public attention. The world watches, comments, and expects responses that often don't align with the very human process of grieving. This creates a pressure cooker environment where vulnerability can be both healing and exposing, making coping a complex endeavor. Within this spotlight, the natural urge to grieve privately can clash with fan desires for transparency and closure. Celebrities frequently face scrutiny over how they handle loss, with some criticized for silence and others for speaking too soon. This uneven terrain adds stress at a time when emotional space is most needed. Ellen's choice to wait reflected an acute awareness of these dynamics, emphasizing the importance of setting boundaries for self-care. Many in the entertainment community have discussed the stigma around openly expressing grief, especially when it involves mental health struggles. Hollywood's culture of perfection and resilience often sidelines the messy realities of loss. This creates isolation, as individuals feel forced to hide their true feelings to maintain public images. Breaking through the stigma is a slow but crucial process, one that Ellen's eventual openness helped advance. Support systems within Hollywood vary widely, with some productions incorporating counseling and wellness resources, while others lack such infrastructure. For long-running shows like Grey's Anatomy, The cast and crew often become a surrogate family, providing emotional support during crises. Ellen and Eric's friendship thrived partly because of this network, yet the industry's demands still leave many vulnerable. This reality underlines a need for more consistent and comprehensive support for those facing grief and trauma. The public expression of their grief becomes more challenging for people who lack immediate social support circles. Colleagues who establish close relationships create protected environments for their emotional expression and emotional processing. Ellen built her relationship with Eric through direct contact, which established a base for both parties to understand each other better. The public expression of their grief becomes more challenging for people who lack immediate social support circles. Their stories show the present things that need improvement in common societal support systems. People who wish to continue their work activities face multiple challenges that complicate their situation. Performers experience pressure to fulfill their work obligations even when they face emotional distress because they believe their employment security depends on their presence at work. The behavior leads to professional burnout, which results in slow recovery. Ellen experienced tension because she needed to handle her professional duties while she dealt with her grief. The recognition of this pressure enables people to understand the strength needed by public figures who experience personal loss to continue their work. Ellen Pompeo's heartfelt reflections pave the way for a message that reaches beyond sorrow to inspire and offer comfort to those touched by tragedy. When Ellen Pompeo finally spoke about Eric Dane's passing, her words carried not only grief but a powerful message of healing and hope. She acknowledged the depth of loss while emphasizing the importance of remembrance and moving forward with compassion. Her reflections transcended personal mourning, offering a universal appeal to embrace vulnerability as a path toward recovery. This openness created a space where others could feel seen and supported amid their own struggles. Ellen expressed gratitude for the time shared with Eric and the lasting impact he had on her life and those around him. She highlighted the significance of cherishing memories and carrying forward the positive influence he embodied. This focus on legacy offered a way to transform pain into something meaningful, reminding audiences that love endures beyond loss. Her message encouraged honoring the departed through living fully and compassionately. Her words also stressed the importance of community and connection in times of hardship. Ellen underscored that healing does not happen in isolation, but through shared empathy and support. She called on others to reach out, listen, and be present for those facing grief. This reminder cultivates a culture of care that benefits not only individuals but society at large. It also reflects Ellen's personal commitment to fostering relationships grounded in understanding and kindness. In addressing her own grief, Ellen did not shy away from the emotional turbulence that accompanies profound loss. Instead, she embraced the complexity of feelings, the sadness, anger, and moments of peace alike. This honest portrayal gave her reflections authenticity, resonating deeply with people who know that healing is rarely linear or tidy. Through this candidness, she modeled strength built on acceptance rather than denial. The research found that Ellen Pompeo used her personal story to promote mental health awareness and education, which led to decreased mental health stigma through her work. She became an advocate for a compassionate dialogue about grief through her personal storytelling. The statement encourages people who work in high-stress situations, particularly those who work in Hollywood, to practice self-care while they seek medical assistance without feeling guilty. Her expressions enable her to connect her emotional suffering with the need for public understanding. Ellen's message explained the concept of resilience, which describes people who can withstand challenges and find purpose in their life struggles. She spoke to the hope that emerges even in the darkest times, offering a guiding light to those still struggling. The theme of resilience demonstrates that people experience two different emotional states when they lose something valuable, which brings them suffering yet enables them to develop and restore themselves. The human spirit possesses a natural ability that enables people to recover from their challenges while they continue their journey through life. Ellen used a reflective process to establish a group healing environment, which invited fans and viewers to honor Eric through collective memory while they continued to live. The path she created through her combination of grief and joy enables people to face their loss with strength and dignity. This statement provides both comfort and strength to individuals who believe their experiences of loss have become too much for them to bear. This heartfelt message sets the stage for considering the lasting legacy of Eric Dane and how Ellen's courage may influence perceptions of grief both inside and outside Hollywood. Eric Dane's impact on television and those who knew him extended far beyond his memorable roles. As a talented actor, he brought depth and charisma to his performances, especially as Dr. Mark Sloan on Grey's Anatomy, where he became an unforgettable part of the show's heart. His characters resonated with fans for their complexity and humanity, making his sudden loss all the more profound. But Eric's legacy is more than his work. It is the warmth, kindness, and resilience he showed off-screen that many remember most vividly. Ellen Pompeo's openness about her grief helps to cement this legacy in a new way. By sharing her personal reflections, she transforms private sorrow into collective remembrance, inviting others to honor Eric's life with empathy and understanding. Her words encourage a shift in how grief is discussed in the entertainment industry, promoting honesty rather than silence. This shift not only preserves Eric's memory, but also fosters a more compassionate environment for those facing similar pain. Eric's impact extends into conversations sparked about mental health and support within Hollywood. His passing underscored the need for better resources and safer spaces where individuals can express vulnerability without fear of judgment or career repercussions. Ellen's courage in sharing her story contributes to breaking down long-standing stigmas, encouraging more openness at all levels of the industry. This cultural change may serve as a vital part of Eric's enduring influence. Legacy also means inspiring future generations, and Eric Dane's story carries lessons about resilience amid hardship. His willingness to be open about his struggles offered a model of strength that resonates with many. By speaking honestly, Ellen Pompeo adds her voice to this ongoing narrative, showing how acknowledging grief is an act of bravery. Together, they inspire audiences to confront pain with courage rather than denial. The way Ellen addresses her loss demonstrates that people can turn their grief into proactive efforts for social awareness. Her reflections help frame the conversation not only around mourning, but around healing and hope. The perspective people hold about Eric maintains his memory active, since it extends beyond his immediate social circle. The content applies to everyone who has suffered a loss and experiences the challenges that come with mental health issues. The audience gains deeper understanding of grief when public figures such as Ellen show their vulnerability. The audience discovers that famous people experience actual human emotions, which include heartbreak and their process of healing. The humanization process establishes as false the concept that celebrities possess untouchable power and creates a more compassionate understanding of them. Ellen presents Eric Dane's personal story to share with the public his grief experience in a way that changes how people view grief. Ellen Pompeo's heartfelt reflections on Eric Dane's tragic loss remind us of the power of honesty and empathy in healing. Her courage to break the silence shines a light on grief's complexity, inspiring us all to approach loss with compassion. If you found this story moving, please like and subscribe for more thoughtful content on stories that truly matter.